had to say. Come follow me now. Right now.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency-quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communication with print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective: to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166 or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com.
Hi, this is Penny Love. Come rock it out with me and the crew at our next Zumba class every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at Northwest Activity Center.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See.
With Mr. BB.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See.
That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. Oh, that's why I had to say, come follow me now, right now.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency-quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communication with print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective: to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166 or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com.
Hi, this is Penny Love. Come rock it out with me and the crew at our next Zumba class every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at Northwest Activity Center.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency-quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communication with print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective: to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166 or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com.
That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. Oh, that's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me now, right now.
Hi, this is Penny Love. Come rock it out with me and the crew at our next Zumba class every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at Northwest Activity Center.
That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. Oh, that's why I had to say, come follow me now, right now.
Good morning, good morning. Yes, we are live. You are live in the D with Mr. BB. We thank you for joining us today. Today we will be joined by Dr. Daya Owens, who's coming on to talk to us. She is a feature author, a doctor, and she'll be coming on to join us today and talk to us about her book and her journey and some of the things that she's doing, as well as whatever else you want to talk to us about today, right here on Live in the D with Mr. BB. And as always, we have our question of the week up on our social media right now. This week's question is, who was your favorite black author as a child? Who was your favorite black author as a child? You still have an opportunity to answer that question and get your answer read right here live on the air. And we have answers pouring in as we speak. And as always, we're going to say good morning. Before we get into our guests and before we get into our topics and questions, air quotes, we're going to say good morning to our squad this morning. So we're going to say good morning to Miss Kadira. Good morning, Miss Kadira.
Good morning, Mr. BB. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It is chilly, but I'm good.
It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
not.
It's snowing, and it's not as cold as it normally does. Like, last week's snowstorm was a lot colder, and this one is kind of just moderate. I think it's supposed to snow all day, all the way up until around sometime this afternoon, 3 or 4 p.m. But it's not too bad. And I thought we would have a lot more snow this morning. Look, where the cast was supposed to be like 3 to 4 inches, but we only got about a half inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. I don't even think it's a full inch yet. So, I'm not going to complain. That's good. Excited about our guests. We're going to play some more of the music you love. And when we come back, we're going to speak to Miss Daya Owens right here on Dr. Daya Owens, right here on Live in the D with Mr. BB. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me now, right now.
We are back. You are still sitting live in the D with Mr. BB, and we are joined now by our special guest, Dr. Daya Owens, who is born in Detroit, Michigan, attended Detroit public schools, and graduated from Wayne State University with an education in specialist master's and doctorate in special education. She possesses a bachelor in business of science and business of education, a ZA vocational endorsement for early childhood and career technical studies. She has taught both general education and special education for over 30 years and has a passion for research and implementation of practices that reach and teach both learner and facilitator. Thus, over 3 years ago, after introducing students with autism to materials that increase their speech and receptive language, she published students' accomplishments into MACUL journals, being reworded INS analysis, which provides ABA therapy, educational materials, counseling, and social work services, and traveled the states as a facilitator and practitioner of educational studies. She has earned awards and honors by Michigan Networks of Teachers, Certificate of Administration for Education and Special Education Services, AGEP, MSU, postdoctoral programs, Maine Curtis Foundation, and Wayne State Diversity and Inclusion, and she's a Wayne State and Diversity and Inclusion member. Wow, what a resume, what a bio. How are you this morning? Good morning to you, Dr. Owens.
You're already empowered. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm doing well. It is chilly, but we'll make it. We're used to it in Detroit.
Yes, ma'am, we are. So you just read we just read your short bio there, and I know one thing that stuck out to me is that you said that you implemented your research into students with into helping students with autism. Can you tell us how you got into that, and as a teacher, how that came about?
Well, along with that, I talked about the passion. So while teaching students from general education for over 12 years, I noticed that there was some behaviors as well as some educational deficits. And deficits is a word that is not used much, but at this point, to describe why I got into it, I have to say that they weren't measuring up against what Michigan was saying that our students should have. And it didn't mean that most students that didn't measure up were a student with autism, but it meant that things should be done for these students. So while working with general education students, I went back to school at Wayne State University. Shout out to Wayne State University, Warriors, and and I began to build this research-based professionalism, I would say, to where I was able to take it back into the classroom and facilitate it with other teachers, parents, community leaders, as well as building my craft as a teacher. And I found, after watching this movie Rain Man, which people talk about all the time, and it's not to sound cliche-ish, but it's to say that I found that not just general education teachers or general education students or students with autism, but all students have a beautiful mind.
Yes.
So that's going back to that passion. I got into it because I wanted to show that all students can read when given the right influence and exposure. All students can excel. So.
Absolutely, I agree. And yes, you said all students have a beautiful mind, and it's just about learning how they learn and how they are able to adapt in the classroom. Because as students with autism, and even I have a family member who's on the spectrum of autism, and another family member who has actual cerebral palsy. They just learn differently.
Exactly.
But one thing that I found, and that we found, is that they'll get focused and hone in on a thing, and they'll get so good at that a lot of times when they have what is called these disabilities. So that is an excellent thing.
You know, and Mr. BB, I would like to say something about the focus that they call it preservation or preservative behaviors. To me, and those that have worked with me, they know I use that as my, not so much a springboard, but my way of getting into their world. Because I can have a lesson planned or a goal, but I will travel that path with them. If they're having preservation on toy cars or on the nutritional label that they saw on a McDonald's bag or something, I will have a conversation with that, and learning will come out of that. We'll learn about cholesterol. We'll learn about serving sizes, and the reason why I took that brought that piece out is because sometimes in the educational field, they want you to stick to a script. In fact, my dissertation was written teachers' resistance to prescribed literacy curriculum, because that prescription is to stick to a script. And I said that teachers are resisting that. And I was able to prove it because I earned my doctorate over 5 years ago. Well, let me not say prove, because nothing is etched in stone, but I was able to present research that supported that.
Right.
And so being pressured sometimes to stick to a script does not allow teachers, educators, facilitators, practitioners to be able to meet our learners where they are. And so I personally, in my craft, in building and getting to where I am now, take that time, even if it seems idiotic to someone to sit there and have a 15-minute conversation about a McDonald's bag that has nutritional facts on it.
Right.
It matters. It matters so much, and I get learning out of it. There's covering math there. There's covering science. There's covering reading. Learning is cross-curriculum.
Exactly.
So
all of that.
I'll do that. And I think that's something that makes me special because I don't tire of that. I can, even if I've had a long night, that's energy to me.
Exactly. Yes. I like that because you clearly are very passionate about what you do and care for what you're doing. And one thing you, again, even said that it gets so important about that McDonald's bag, and it gets so important to them. And again, I just go back to my family member. When he has something on his mind and he has something to share and speak with you, even again, if it's just reading some ingredients off of a piece of McDonald's bag or something we eat, a cookie box or something, they just feel that that's important, that they have to share that with you. And a lot of people will say, some people will,
Shown it.
tire of it or shove it off or wave it off, but that's, again, that goes back to how they learn and how they grow and how they adapt. So
Exactly.
you want them to grow, your family member, whether it's your son, your daughter, or cousin or brother, then you need to cultivate that, and you have done that. So with that, I understand that you're also an author.
I am.
So how have what is the name of your books or books?
Well, I started the company Reword Book Company here in Detroit, Michigan, and from that, Reword Analysis or Reanalysis, and that's the ABA portion that goes along with students with disabilities or specifically students with autism. But our books, I have a textbook, I have a cultural competency workbook, I have a workbook that goes along with our small readers. And what I focus on is short stories because, again, as I said, when I got into teaching students with autism as well as students in general education, I noticed that they could read, they could do many things, but they needed to take them in small portions. So when I started publishing the books, my books are from 18 to 30 pages. And so I have to admit, I had a little bit of stigmatism because I felt as though the ones that I really, really wanted to get to were those ones that had slipped through the cracks. And I know they have the third grade law, but the ones that slip through the cracks are those ones that are at 6th, 7th, 8th grade, going on to high school. And they needed that extra push, so to speak. So I taught middle school, and when I taught middle school, I found myself going over sounds, phonetic sounds. So in my books, not only do I have phonetic sounds built into the story, it's engaging, I also bring out vocabulary that a 6th, 7th, 8th grader could learn, as well as a first through 5th grader could learn. For instance, I have a book that's called Fricker Speed Nooster Gets a Bit of Greed, and Fricker means speed.
Right.
So what I've done is I've put the sounds of the FR, which are consonant blends, into the title as well as the words in the book, and you're able to teach those words, have the meaning in the context, and then have a funny story because it's about a tomato who's about 1 inch tall, but he's speedy. How? So you want to be able to go through that book and learn the vocabulary, learn there's metaphors in there, there's humor, and it's engaging. But I have over 30 titles on my website. My website is my name, Owens Daya -rewordbooks.com. So it's OWENSDARYA. There's a dash, and then Reword, REEWORDBOOKS.com. I know it's a long website. However, through the website company that I developed it through, once you put Owens Daya, it comes up and it'll say Rewords Analysis or Reanalysis, and you can click on it. And I've added some 3D pictures in there, and I continue to update it so that it's engaging and it pulls individuals in. You can see some of the stories that pages in the book so that you will know what you're reading, what you're getting, as well as there's videos attached to it. The videos are of some of the pages as well as some of the themes that are going along with the books.
Right. Right. And you say you have over 18 titles on that page?
Over 26, over 30, actually.
Over 30. Wow. So how long have you been writing?
I've been writing since 2014.
2014. What got you into writing?
Wanting to break those lessons down, some of those stories down, so that all learners can have an opportunity to read a book, be engaged, learn rigorous vocabulary. And I know rigorous is like a trendy word, but rigorous just means something like fricker. You know, you won't probably use it, but it would be good to know it.
Absolutely.
I'm always reminded of a story where one of my students didn't know what a beach was. They didn't know what a canoe was, a Winnebago. And so I took the opportunity to put things in it that, to me, are culturally competent, as well as exposing them to things that they might not know. And, of course, I wouldn't be able to cover all the gambit of what might come out. But I tried. And I know the most obvious question sometimes is, do you ever get tired? And I really don't. I don't know why. I think it's the drive that I want to make a difference. It's never about the money, because since 2014, I don't think my business has grossed as much as, you know, some of the other big companies are. But you know what? I continue to keep going, and it's not that I want to get there and then stop. It's just that I want to make the difference.
Absolutely. Right, and we appreciate that you are continuing to drive and continuing to do that to make the difference that you see that needs to be made in the community and education. Where and do you have any upcoming events?
Yes. So in March, I'm going to the Upper Peninsula Early Childhood Conference. It's in northern Michigan. It's sponsored by Northern University, and other sponsors are there. I'll be up there for 2 days. And then in February 28th, there's a meeting for Hope Starts Here that's right here in Detroit. And it's another early childhood initiative. And I really wanted to give a shout out to them, because I'm hoping that after this broadcast and sometime later, they will be able to come and discuss some of the things that's happening with Hope Starts Here. With our early childhood, there are families that are trying to bring literacy into their home, and that's how I got into this, into working with as a team action member, where parents that are homeschooling, as well as parents that are not able to leave the home. We bring the books and the authors and some of the community events and resources to the home, so that they are able to nurture their children as if they were in the school walls. And it's a very special initiative, because we have now been able to get Lansing involved, because they are thinking about increasing the amount of funding in early childhood, so that the parents that are kind of in home and not able to get to resources, they can then be able to come out into different events and community resources, so they can come out into the community and receive some of those resources. Because social skills is a very important thing for our young children, and if they're in the home all the time, receiving these resources is kind of it's not balancing out. So Hope Starts Here has a meeting on February 28th, and it's if you come, you'll be able to sign up. We're looking for more male participants, and we know that there are numerous single male parents, and we're looking to help those parents and provide resources. Transportation can be provided, so this is something else that I'm excited about. And then in April, I'll be going up to Lansing for another meeting. So I mentioned a lot about early childhood, and it's because before I said the Michigan law about third grade, well, they are finding now that even though it's important to have that social play, in early childhood, for some time, kindergarten, preschool was about play, nap, snack.
Right.
Well, now there's an early literacy component that it's been around for more than 2 years, but it's really taken effect because if you want every child to be able to read by third grade, you don't start at third grade.
Exactly.
You don't start even at first grade. You know, you start when they're able to absorb all of those things. Brain research says that they can absorb more more things by first grade than they can by third grade. Even with brain research, it talks about how when we're born, we have 300 bones, but by the time we're 25, we only have 206. And they say, well, where does some of these bones go? Well, there's 21 bones fused together to make our skull. And inside of that, it's like that because our brain is constantly growing. It's constantly absorbing. And I know that sounds real interesting, but and this is actually something I've taught my students with autism, and they really, really love it.
Right.
So that's how I know it. But I'm saying that to say that the younger you expose them, the more they can learn.
Absolutely. That is an absolutely true thing. And correct me if this is not true, but shouldn't you probably start teaching them how to read and how to be literate when they start talking?
Even before that, you can start reading to them when they're in the womb. Yes. Oh goodness, I don't want to. Okay, so I have 4 children.
Right.
And my third child, I was in school as well as working 2 jobs because I was always one of those go-getters. But with her, I read to her. And I have to say, she went to this school, Beacon Academy. It's not a operational school right at this moment, but by the time when she was in kindergarten, her teacher told me she was reading at a 2nd grade level. Now, I'm gonna say I don't know that I attribute it to that, other than that I read to her when she was in my womb.
Right.
So I that's research, that's action research, you know, but it's proven that you can read to them beforehand, and then they come out with that desire to read, and you just give them the books. Now, and I went to a book fair, actually the book fair that we were at, Mr. BB, and there were many individuals there buying books for younger children, and the books that I had might have caused some parents to kind of shy away, but as I said before, I put rigorous vocabulary in the books so that as they grow, they yearn for more.
Right.
If they're reading Cat, Rat, Chase, Tom, you know, for a period of 2-3 weeks, the Cat and the Rat and Chase and Tom gets old. But why not mix some of those Cat, Rats, Chase, Tom into over the snowy caps of the Appalachian Mountains, and they learn about Appalachian Mountains and you know what makes a mountain, and sculpting, and you know, using words like that to tell the story.
Absolutely. And you're right, use that and expand their vocabulary, expand their story, expand their minds, help them grow as youngins. You said something a while ago, the February 28th Hope Starts Here event, and I want to absolutely get more information on that and know how we, Live in the D, Mr. BB, our team can get involved. And can you just give more information on how the public can get involved?
Yes. Now, they do not have the location up now, but Hope Starts Here is a website. You can go to their website, and they have a timeline there that shows all of the events that they've done in the past and how these events are annual events. So even if you can't make the February 28th, you'll see that they have an event where it's called Kids Day, and on Kids Day the kids run the program.
Oh wow!
And it's a wonderful initiative right here in Detroit. I can't give out too much information because just as we getting Lansing involved, the money and the resources are not totally close knit, and I'm apologizing for going on air saying that, because it sounds as if it's not something that's viable. It is. It has been around for some time, but what I say to that is that if they're increasing the money in Lansing, that means that the resources haven't been there, as we speak. So they have to wait to get the resources. They have to wait to get those that are signed up, and then things can happen. And we don't want that for our children. There's nothing worse than saying, I'm going to take you to the ice cream parlor or the ice cream store, and then, they wait, and then it rains, and you say, well, we can't go today. Right. So we want to be able to have those people signing up and those resources available beforehand so that things follow through. So that's why I mentioned that, because we want those male parents. We want someone, as many that can participate to sign up. So go to the website, Hope Starts Here. Click on it, and you'll be able to see the upcoming things. And then you can also chat or ask a question, and that's how you can get involved. And then, like, now I know about the 28th because they told me to save the date as one of the team action members, but they haven't told me the location. Our last meeting was at the Wayne Community College location on the west side in Southfield. So, but I know it might not be here because they try to move it around so that everybody can get it to different locations, because some people are east, some people are west.
Okay. And lastly, Miss Owens, Dr. Owens, thank you. How can we get in contact and keep up with you?
Yes, you can either, my email, which is like my website, owensdaria@gmail.com. I'll spell it out because sometimes Daria sounds like it's a B, but it's O as in out, W as in water, E as in elephant, N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, D as in dog, A as in apple, R as in run, Y as in yo-yo, A as in apple, @gmail.com. And that's the best way to reach me. And then through my website, it's only allowed to shop that way, so emailing is better.
All right. And is there anything else you would like to share with us before we go?
Well, I want to say this to the parents that are raising learners, not just readers, that never give up hope, because sometimes it's difficult and it seems as though people are looking at you and judging you. I have to let you know that even if you heard them say something that is harmful, never give up hope, because I don't judge and I don't get tired, and I will work with you. So I know that I'm not the only one that feels that way. So continue to advocate. There are advocates out there for you. You just have to continue to push on and have hope.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, and we thank you, and we appreciate what you're doing for the community. We appreciate that you are helping those young students, that the learners. We appreciate your stance on literacy, and we hope to hear more positive things from you. I definitely want to keep up with you on that Hope Starts Here program and that event, because again, we would like to be part of that here on Live in the Day with Mr. Beebe, and we wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to play more of the music you love, take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll hear from Miss Kadir. We'll be right back. You are Live in the D with Mr. Beebe. Stay with us.
It's live in the D with Mr.
BB.
BB.
It's Live in the D with Mr. Beebe every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See.
That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. Oh, that's why I had to say, come follow me now, right now.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency-quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communication with print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective: to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166, or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com.
Hi, Hi, this is Penny Love. Come rock it out with me and the crew at our next Zumba class every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at Northwest Activity Center.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See.
That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me, come follow me. That's why I had to say, come follow me now, right now.
Have you ever scrolled through one of those popular streaming services for hours and thought,
why can't I find enough high-quality black films and shows? Well, now there's a streaming service just for you.
The new TV video network
dedicated to the issues, stories, and culture of the global black community.
The dopest independent films, documentaries, web shows,
and news from the entire African diaspora.
We're talking content from North America, Europe,
Latin America, the Caribbean,
and Africa.
All in one spot.
Each title is handpicked with us in mind by showing a true representation of the black experience without all the stereotypical roles and storylines you see in mainstream media.
With new content added every Wednesday.
Monthly subscriptions are just $5.99.
Wait, $5.99? That's cheaper than those other guys.
So what are you waiting for? Join the revolution in black cinema.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB.
It's live in the D with Mr. BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See. All right, we are back. You are still sitting live in the D with Mr. BB, and we are now joined by another author here in Detroit, local author, children's author, Miss Stephanie Hardy, who's here with us live in studio. Coming from the Detroit Library. She's a local Detroit librarian and an author as well with a number of books. And she's here to talk to us right now. Good morning, Ms. Hardy.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. You?
We're good. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
As you said, I go by SF Hardy for my children's writing. I am a children's librarian.
Okay.
And I also make candles.
Oh.
Soy candles.
Okay, soy candles.
And I'm a native Detroiter.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
Okay. So how did you get into, being a librarian, I'm sure that had some influence on it. How did you get into writing?
I've been writing since I was a child. I've always written to express myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just carried that out throughout the years. And I started publishing middle school.
Right.
A couple of my poems were published, selected for a contest that I didn't even know I was entering.
How'd that come about?
There was area contest at the time, long time ago, way before y'all were even thought of.
Right.
And so at that time, there was a lot of violence happening. And I can't remember the assignment, but I'm sure that there was some type of assignment. And that was how I expressed what the current events, how I expressed how I felt. And so, like I said, they were selected for that program through one of the English teachers, Mrs. Murkison and Miss Spratt.
Okay.
At Marquette Elementary School.
Marquette Elementary School. And where did you originally go to school, graduate from? And
I went to school in Detroit. I went to a few different schools, Corville Elementary, then Handstein for 1 year, Marquette. I graduated from Crockett Technical High School. I went for cosmetology.
Okay.
And from there, I went to Wayne County Community College for dental assisting. And then I went to Wayne State. I majored in a few different things, but I ended up with a degree in Africana Studies and with a minor in psychology. And then I went for my master's in library information science.
Library information science. And at what point did you decide to say, you know what, I'm going to take these degrees, this knowledge, and this history, and become a published author?
I published my first book in undergrad. I was getting ready to finish publishing, and it was actually an adult book. I write for children and reluctant readers.
Okay.
I don't believe that nobody likes to read. I believe that people have not found what they enjoy reading. And so at this time, my best friend would not read unless it was of certain nature. And so I started writing short stories, and then I compiled the stories and published the book. And from there, I just decided that I enjoyed writing the children's stories a little more, and I published my first children's book, The Empress's New Hair, in 2012.
Nice, nice. The Empress's New Hair, and which is this book we have here. This is the first children's book back from 2012, so that's almost 10 years old. Tell us about this book a little bit.
That book is about Empress Zaina of Detroit Charm. She is very unappreciative of her hair and the many things that it does until one day something happens and it makes her learn to embrace what she has. So essentially the book is about embracing self, loving self, and taking what you have and spreading diversity.
And as a popular topic that's in the news right now, go circulating about hair love.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I see it's well illustrated, and it's a book about, again, one of those reluctant reader books. That's probably for those that's like, I want to read about a certain topic. So there's probably it's a young book for young women and
boys.
And boys. Okay.
I think.
It's very interesting.
Okay.
I love the pictures in it, and I was very interested. It's a little bit of a surprise ending. And for I'm one of the reluctant readers. It has to be a certain genre that I actually enjoy, and I read it and I enjoyed it.
Right. But it's talking about that self-love and that preservation. And okay. Right. Okay. So, what are some of the other books that you have written? One of your latest books.
Last year I published Like a Salad.
Okay.
Which is about two siblings who explore the nuances of skin tones within their family. And that book touches on what most of us experience. We have different colors of skin tones in our family, and young people are inquisitive and they want to know why.
Right.
So that book tells us why, and the kids relate the skin tones to their day-to-day objects or things that they're familiar with. And it's a celebration of differences.
A celebration of differences, different skin tones, different color shades that we already have in here in the Black community. And that's your other book. And then you said you have a new one coming up, something about soup.
Yes, the new one is Dancing Monkeys in My Soup.
Dancing Monkeys in My Soup.
It's about a little boy on vacation in Peru.
Okay.
And he's eating his dinner soup, and he discovers pygmy marmosets dancing in his soup.
Wow.
And he doesn't know what to do.
Exactly. So
they're doing some Afro-Peruvian dances. They're doing salsa and some West African dances. And it's a really fun book. It's has a concept component to it as well, and you're exploring culture in a different land. And this will be the first of a series of books with the main character whose name is Jabbar.
Okay, awesome. And the Dancing Monkeys in My Soup is your latest featured book. Do you have any upcoming events to feature these books so we can catch them and we can get them and we can order them and read them, enjoy them?
Dancing Monkeys is not available quite yet,
okay.
But I'm anticipating by next month, March, and I will be in Chicago for the Black Women's Chicago Expo the first weekend of April.
Okay.
And after that, July, I'll be in Atlanta for the National Book Club Conference. Right now, that's what I have scheduled, but you can check me out online, social media, my website.
Yep. That's what I was about to ask you. Like, how does someone keep up with you? How do we keep up with you these books? If they want to maybe book you for a speaking engagement, come talk at their school or on their show.
That's a good question. I have a hard time keeping up with myself. I have a website, sfhardybooks.com.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also on social media, Facebook, SF Hardy, the author, as well as Stephanie Fazikis Hardy. And then Instagram, I am Shenominal Inc. SHENO.
That's why it's hard to find you on Instagram.
MENAL. I'm sorry.
No
You should have been
problem.
able to put in SF Hardy and it come up too.
Okay, SF Hardy on Instagram.
And then Twitter, SF Hardy Writer.
SF Hardy Writer. All right, so that's basically SF everything.
Yes.
And then search Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We'll be able to find you in the handles and comment and share and like your books. And where can we purchase them? Oh, that's important.
You can purchase them on my website at sfhardybooks.com. You can also purchase them on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Walmart.com, and the other online retail stores.
Okay. All right, is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
I'd just like to thank you for having me on the show.
I appreciate it. And thank you for coming on, and thank you for...
I would like to share something.
Okay.
This Saturday, we're having a program for Black History Month.
Okay.
And at our branch, the Skillman Library, and it's from 12 to 5. We will have other authors there, and Shonda Buchanan, author of The Black Indian, will be there speaking. So I would like to invite everybody to come out and partake. It's free, and you'll have fun.
Okay. Shonda Buchanan at the Detroit Skillman Library branch. And we 12 to 5?
12 to 5.
All right. So everyone heard that. Go out to the Detroit Skillman Library this Saturday and check out the events, the writers' event. Meet author
Shonda Buchanan.
Shonda Buchanan, author of
Black Indian.
The Black Indian. All right. Thank you for joining us, and we thank you, Miss Hardy, and we hope to hear more positive things from you. We're looking forward to reading and viewing more of your books and learning about what those monkeys are going to do in that boy's soup. All right. Thank you. You are live in the Day with Mr. B. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency-quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communication with print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective: to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166, or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com.
It's live in the D with Mr.
BB.
It's Live in the D with Mr. BB every Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WVI 107.3 Radio We Can See.
Have you ever scrolled through one of those popular streaming services for hours and thought,
why can't I find enough high-quality black films and shows? Well, now there's a streaming service just for you.
The new TV video network
dedicated to the issues, stories, and culture of the global black community.
The dopest independent films, documentaries, web shows,
and news from the entire African diaspora.
We're talking content from North America, Europe,
Latin America, the Caribbean,
and Africa.
All in one spot.
Each title is handpicked with us in mind by showing a true representation of the black experience without all the stereotypical roles and storylines you see in mainstream media.
With new content added every Wednesday.
Monthly subscriptions are just $5.99.
Wait, $5.99? That's cheaper than those other guys.
So what are you waiting for? Join the revolution in black cinema.
Still sitting live in the Day with Mr. BB. And unfortunately, that is all the time we have today. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for tuning in. And hopefully we'll see you next week. But before we leave, Today's quote on Live and Deal with Mr. BB is, "It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not." Once again, today's quote on Live and Deal with Mr. BB is, "It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not." That is today's quote, brought to you by Live and Deal with Mr. BB. And, of course, we asked our question this week. The question was, what was your favorite book as a child written by an African-American author? And we had answers pouring in. One person said, "I'm not a child, but one of my favorite books is The Empress by Stephanie Hardy." And another person said that their favorite book was Amani Has the Most Exciting Dreams, and that book was written by Sandra Epps. And that is the end of the show. Those are your answers. And tune in next week for our question next week, and a possibility your answer will be on the air. We thank you for joining us. You're watching Live and Deal with Mr. BB. Closing out today by Miss Shakira. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your week.
It feels unnatural to not be in motion. For the city built on four wheels to stand still. But these vacant streets, empty stadiums, are not signs of our retreat, but of our resolve. This is not us sitting out the fight. This is us winning it. Our fist doesn't need to move to have strength. If he were alive today, even Henry himself would have put it in park. So take this isolation as a sign of our togetherness, as we take care of ourselves and the ones close. Because although it's time for America's motor to stop, we're coming back with all 8 cylinders. Because here, we don't stop in the name of fear. Here, we stop in the name of love.